Thank you so much for joining us for this evening's performance at the Millennium stage. Please welcome to the stage the United States Navy Band Brass Quartet.
Hello. Good evening. We are the U.S. Navy Band Brass Quartet. We're a chamber music, thank you. We're a chamber music group connected with your United States Navy Band right here in Washington, D.C. For 17 years, the Navy Band Brass Quartet has entertained millions at concerts, Navy ceremonies, schools, professional symposiums, and television programs, both nationally and internationally. We just performed one of our favorite pieces, American composer Ronald Lopresti's rhythmically exciting miniature for brass quartet. Our leader, Chief Musician John Schroeder, cannot be here tonight since he is recovering from an accident, unfortunately. Nevertheless, we were able to get musician first class Chris Buchanan to play trumpet in John's plays on short notice. Chris, he hails from Fairfax, Virginia. After studying composition and trumpet at the University of Illinois, he is on the verge of getting his doctorate degree right up the road at the Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore. And I should mention that Chris spent a good many years in the U.S. Navy Academy Band before coming to the band here in Washington. On the euphonium, from Shillington, Pennsylvania, we have musician first class Phil Eberly. Phil holds a bachelor's degree from George Mason and a master's degree from the University of North Texas. And on tuba, we're very proud to call Chief Musician Select Tony Halloin from De Pere, Wisconsin, one of us. He has studied music at Indiana University and earned a doctorate degree at the University of Maryland. My name is Chief Musician Stanley Curtis, and I'm from Alabama and have studied at the University of Alabama, the Cleveland Institute of Music, and Indiana University. And right before coming into the Navy Band in 1998, right before then, I was playing in an orchestra in La Coruña, Spain. So I think we have a kind of a wide variety of experiences here. So the next piece we would like to play is borrowed, maybe even stolen, from the book of the string quartets of Beethoven. This is Beethoven's Quartet Number 2, and it's the finale, the last movement of that. So I'm sure you'll love the impish nature of this piece and the stopping and going, which happens several times throughout the piece. So I hope you enjoy our finale from Beethoven's String Quartet Number 2.
Thank you all very much. So Chief Curtis told you I was working on a doctorate, but he didn't tell you who I was writing my dissertation on. Lucky for you, just give me one second. It's our next composer. So, chapter 1. You know, on second thought, I think maybe we'll just do the short version of this. Giovanni Gabrielli, you may know him. If you're a brass player, maybe if you're just a lover of music, you probably know Giovanni Gabrielli. But I'm going to tell you why you all should know about Giovanni Gabrielli. Now, he was an organist at the Basilica di San Marco in Venice. And as a composer, he's one of these figures that straddles two different eras in music. He sort of has his left foot in the Renaissance and then his right foot in the Baroque. We generally acknowledge that to begin around 1600 or so. And perhaps more importantly, he taught that first generation of great German Baroque composers, people like Heinrich Schütz and Gregor Eichinger, and through them a tradition that stretches all the way to Bach sprang forth. So we can thank him for that. He's also a pioneer in writing instrumental music. For example, before a canzone, like the one we're about to play, would be based on a vocal model, something like a French chanson, and that's sort of where it gets its name, chanson, canzone. But Gabrielli wrote his from the ground up to be played by instruments alone, hence why it's called a canzone per suonare, or a song that is meant to be played. So we can thank him for that, too. We also have Chief Dr. Stan Curtis to thank for this edition that we're about to play, and this is Canzone per suonare, number 4 by Gabrielli.
Thank you very much. The next piece we're going to play is by a fairly little-known composer, Emilio Wilhelm Ramzo from Denmark. He cut his teeth conducting theater orchestras in Stockholm and later St. Petersburg, Russia. And a lot of what he did as a theater musician was either rearrange music that was written for a theater orchestra to kind of fit the parts that he had, the instrumentation that he had, or sometimes he had to compose his own music to fill in the gaps, intermezzi for plays and things like that. And unfortunately, that's basically all that he wrote is theater music. And then there's these 6 brass quartet pieces, one of which we're going to play a movement from right now. He wrote these pieces for a sort of odd instrumentation: cornet, trumpet in F, which is kind of lower than the typical trumpet, like a larger trumpet, and then a tenor horn, which is fairly similar to a euphonium, but maybe a little more bright and punchy, and then a tuba or sometimes a bass trombone. These quartets are written in the neoclassical style, so you notice they sort of straddle the line of a sort of a late Mozart in terms of form, but they're just they're very idiomatic for brass instruments. It's kind of nice to have repertoire written from this period, which is the sort of middle 19th century, because if we played music that was written for a string quartet, it would be very difficult to play on brass instruments, as you heard with the Beethoven. This is a little more idiomatic writing for brass instruments. So we hope you enjoy the first movement from Wilhelm Ramzo's Quartet Number 4.
Good evening, I'm Emilio Philip Eberly. The next piece we're going to play was written in 1949 by Edmund Haynes, an American. He was born in 1914 in Iowa, and he attended Eastman School of Music, where he studied with Howard Hansen. He also studied with other American composers like Roy Harris and Aaron Copland. He had numerous awards for his compositions, including a Pulitzer Prize, an award from the National Award for the American Guild of Organists, and he also had a Guggenheim Fellowship. Haynes' works have been performed by many notable groups, including Rochester Philharmonic, the NBC Symphony Orchestra, and the Boston Brass Quartet. Performed the next piece we're about to play, which is his Toccata. Thank
There's a place in Norway between Oslo and Bergen called Valdres, which is noted for its woodland, trout fishing, and beautiful dialect. In 1904, the Norwegian bandmaster and composer Johannes Hansen paid tribute to this place with his Valdres Margen. The main theme is based on a signature fanfare for the Valdres Battalion, which in turn is based on a melody formerly played on the ancient lure, which is a kind of medieval wooden trumpet. The trio section, which is the secondary theme, if you will, features a 5-note melody from a traditional Norwegian fiddle tune with a drone bass line typical of this type of folk music. So I hope you enjoy the Valdres March by Hansen.
Thank you. Now, if you're a veteran of military band concerts, which I assume many of you are, you're probably familiar with our March King, and that'd be John Philip Sousa. But who among you knows who the Waltz King is? Yes, that would be Johann Strauss Jr. Now, the waltz, nothing could be more quintessentially Austrian than a waltz. It's graceful, it's serene, it's evocative of beautiful rivers and majestic scenery and Vienna's good life. In fact, you've probably heard or maybe even danced to a few of Strauss's waltzes. The Blue Danube, the Emperor's Waltz, Roses from the South. I'm getting a couple nods out there. Which is great, because we're not going to play any of those for you. In fact, we're not even going to play a waltz. We're going to play a polka. This is the Trish Trash Polka.
Unfortunately, the next piece we play for you is not going to be Radetzky March. We're going to have to skip that one tonight. But we're going to play Amparita Roca. Jaime Tejor was born in Barcelona. He was a composer, conductor, and a publisher. And he lived most of his life in a city in northern Spain. He was a saxophonist in the military band before becoming a conductor of the local municipal band in 1927. And about 10 years later, he decided that he had written so many pieces that he wanted to open his own publishing company to distribute and sell his own music. He had more than 100 pasodobles to his name. And we're going to play one of those for you. Amparita Roca was a pasodoble, which is a Spanish dance, two-step. It depicts a bullfight. And he dedicated this one to a little girl who lived near him. Amparita Roca.
Ole. We're going to skip also one piece, the Wagner piece in your program. Unfortunately, we don't think we have quite enough time. We're going to go into our next piece. On September 11th, 2011, the Navy Band Brass Quartet was honored to be asked to perform at a memorial ceremony at the Pentagon Memorial. One of the pieces we played during this was the emotional American spiritual, Were You There? Our arrangement is based on an arrangement by the great choral arranger and composer Moses Hogan. While we played this, President Obama laid a wreath and consoled the families of the victims of American Airlines Flight 77.
Duke Ellington was born and grew up in D.C. here. He also began his music career in the area, started playing in local clubs and here and in Northern Virginia. As he grew up, his father had a tie to the Navy. He drew up blueprints. He worked as a civilian. And as Duke Ellington got older, one of his first jobs was as a courier for the Navy. And he actually used that job to gain some contacts and land some gigs. So we hope that we helped him on his career a little. In 1930, he was asked to write a new piece for this new technology radio. And it was going to be the first piece that he wrote just for broadcast, to play into a microphone and people to hear electronically. He wrote it for clarinet, trumpet, and muted trombone. And normally the clarinet's the high instrument, trombone's the low instrument. Well, he flipped them around, and he put the trombone up on top, clarinet playing down really low. And what this did, it created a mic tone, a phantom tone, when the overtones from the clarinet and the trombone kind of clashed together. So it sounded like almost 4 people playing instead of only 3. The tune was really popular. People started writing letters into the radio station, and it was so popular that they decided that Irving Mills was going to write lyrics to it, and they were going to release the song as Mood Indigo. So that's the first tune we're going to play. We're also then going to follow that up with a blues tune written in 1916, Beale Street Blues. It's been made famous by Ella Fitzgerald and a number of other singers. And that one is by W.C. Handy. Thank you.
A couple of weeks ago, the Navy Band Brass Quartet was asked to travel to Newport, Rhode Island to musically support the change of command for the Center for Service Support. The retiring captains requested a march written by John Williams for a 1976 film, directed by Jack Smite, about the naval turning point of World War II. Does anybody know what that movie is? The Battle of Midway. It starred Charlton Heston and many others. It's a great tune from this film, and we thought you might like to listen to this march also. We hope you enjoy Midway March. Thank you very much. You can find out more about the Navy Band Brass Quartet and indeed about the whole Navy Band on our website, navyband.navy.mil. The Navy Band also maintains a presence on Facebook, Twitter, and many other social media sites. There you can see photos and find out more about our performances, our musicians, and our mission. And leave us a comment about this performance if you would like to do that. Now we want to play our favorite song for you for our final selection. This piece was written in 1906 by the bandmaster of the U.S. Naval Academy Band, Charles Zimmerman. But we're going to play this just a little fast to see if anyone, Eberly, can keep up with the fast notes of this arrangement.